She lingered near the hallway mirror, adjusting the thin strap of her black dress. The sharp scent of her perfume clung heavily to the air between us. "You're being dramatic," she said coolly, slipping on her heels without meeting my eyes. "It's just one night. I need this." Her words settled in my chest like lead. "You need this." I repeated it in my head, the weight of it nearly crushing. "You need this?" I asked, my voice low and strained, my throat tight with disbelief. She let out an exasperated sigh, eyes flicking to the ceiling. "Don't be ridiculous, Noah. There's not going to be a divorce." A smirk curled on her lips, cruel and careless. "You wouldn't dare." I stared at her, at the woman I once believed was my partner, my anchor. And in that moment, the illusion shattered. She didn't fear consequences. She believed she was invincible, but she wasn't. They say trust is the cornerstone of any marriage. But what happens when the very foundation buckles and gives way? For 12 years, I had poured everything into our life together. Devotion, effort, dreams. We were admired, envied even. She was a rising star in corporate law, commanding rooms with her confidence. I ran a successful architecture firm, happy to let her shine. Together, we were the couple people talked about at dinner parties. Or so I thought. To Olivia, I was just another feature in her carefully curated life. A stable fixture to balance her ambition. Nothing more. And tonight, she made that painfully clear. She walked out not with shame or secrecy, but with deliberate confidence. She didn't even bother to pretend anymore. That, more than anything, was what broke me. No lies, no excuses, just blatant disrespect. I sat on the edge of our bed, numb. Then my phone buzzed. A message from her. "Don't wait up. Won't be home till morning." My jaw clenched. This wasn't neglect. This was war. I opened my laptop, my thoughts already racing ahead of the pain. "Fine, Olivia. If this is the game you want to play, I hope you're ready to lose." In the days that followed, I said nothing. I simply observed. The subtle changes, the sudden work dinners, the hushed phone calls behind closed doors, the way she started dressing like she had something to prove. She thought she was clever. She wasn't. I began to dig. Quietly, carefully. I combed through our financials, bank accounts, credit card records, transaction histories. That's when I found it. A slow siphoning of money, small transfers disguised withdrawals. But they added up. Hundreds of thousands were being funneled to an offshore account. It wasn't just infidelity. It was a plan. She was preparing to disappear with everything. She wanted to leave me and still walk away with the life I built. But I wasn't going to let that happen. Step 1. Gather proof. I hired a private investigator. Within days, I had everything: photos of her with him, emails, financial records. A complete picture of betrayal. Step 2. Protect myself. I met with my lawyer. Quietly moved all of my assets into a protected trust. By the time she realized, it would be far too late. Every cent I had earned, safe, untouchable. Step 3. Let her bury herself. I played along. The doting husband, the clueless partner. While she continued her performance, I was writing the final scene. The opportunity came in the form of a charity gala. She had spent weeks planning it. A grand affair, packed with colleagues, clients, friends. It was supposed to be her moment. A celebration of power, elegance, control. But that night, it became her reckoning. I stood by her side as guests mingled. She clung to my arm like everything was perfect. She had no idea. When the time came for the toast, I took the microphone. Olivia smiled expectantly, waiting for the rehearsed praise. Instead, I turned toward the crowd. "To my wife Olivia," I said, voice steady. "The woman who taught me that betrayal comes dressed in diamonds." A ripple of confusion passed through the crowd. Olivia's smile twitched, faltered. Then the screen behind us lit up. Emails, photos, account statements, proof. Everything was laid bare for the room to see. Her boss leaned forward, face rigid with fury. Her coworkers stared, murmuring. One of the firm's senior clients, the man in the photos with her, turned pale. I looked at her. Would you like to explain this, Olivia? She lunged for the remote. I stepped aside. Sit down. We're just getting started. In a matter of minutes, the life she so carefully constructed crumbled. Her boss approached with ice in his voice. I expect your resignation by Monday. Her lover shifted uncomfortably, suddenly aware of the scandal tied to his name. And then I delivered the final blow. I spoke to our attorney, I said calmly. The divorce papers have already been filed. I leaned in slightly, eyes locked on hers. And since you signed a prenup, her eyes widened. You walk away with nothing. Silence. Then whispers. Then the slow unraveling of her poise. She stormed out, heels echoing against the marble floor. But there was no triumph in her stride. No confidence. Just panic. In the weeks that followed, she lost everything. Her job, her reputation, her status. And me? I let it all go. Sold the house. Moved on. For the first time in years, I breathed freely. She tried to destroy me. But in the end, she was the one who stood in her own ruins. They say revenge is cold. But watching her world collapse, that was fire.